Discovering Curaçao's captivating past, a fascinating journey through history. Curaçao boasts a captivating and extensive history, spanning from its earliest inhabitants, the Indians, and the Spaniards, to the Dutch colonizers who controlled the territory. The island's name itself holds a special allure, although its origin remains uncertain. There exist no fewer than 5 distinct theories about the etymology of the name. One such theory posits that the name might be derived from the Native American term for the island. Alternatively, it could originate from the Portuguese term cura, which translates to healing in Dutch. Another possibility is that Curaçao comes from the Portuguese word coração, meaning heart in Dutch. A third theory suggests that it derives from the Caribbean phrase for large plantation, corauaçu. Finally, Curaçao might also stem from the word curaçao, meaning soursop, a fruit native to the island. In the following sections, we will delve into Curaçao's rich history in more detail. The origin of Curaçao. Approximately 60 million years ago, a volcanic mass of up to 444 square kilometers erupted violently from the Caribbean Sea's waters, forming the landmass we now recognize as Curaçao. Comprised of igneous rock, the island was further shaped by the trade winds and the perpetual sunlight that beats down upon it. The west coast of Curaçao also features limestone formations that have been molded by the pounding waves, serving as a barrier against waves that can rise tens of meters high. Together, these 3 natural forces have created the island of Curaçao as we presently know it. However, this process of geological evolution remains ongoing and will continue to transform the island, resulting in an entirely new appearance in a few million years. The coming of the Spanish to Curaçao. In the Caribbean Sea, on October 10, 1499, Curaçao was discovered by the Spanish explorer Alonso de Ojeda, marking the first time a European had laid eyes on the island. Today, this occasion is commemorated with the national holiday, the Day of Curaçao. Following the discovery, the island was featured on the Mapa Mundi, a notable world map created by the Spanish cartographer Juan de la Cosa. Upon arrival, the Spaniards observed that the indigenous people residing in Aruba, Bonaire, and Curaçao towered over them in stature. As a result, they dubbed these islands Islas de los Gigantes, or Islands of the Giants. However, after determining the islands lacked valuable resources such as gold or fertile land, they renamed them Islas Inúteis, or useless islands. The Spaniards consequently removed the indigenous people from the Caribbean islands, forcing them to work on sugar plantations and copper mines. The coming of the Dutch to Curaçao. Around the mid-17th century, the West India Company, WIC, needed to establish a new trading point to facilitate their route to South America, with a port for their navy and privateers. They found Curaçao to be a suitable location and therefore, Johannes van Walbeck took over Curaçao from the Spaniards in 1634. 2 years later, the Dutch also succeeded in conquering the neighboring Caribbean islands of Bonaire and Aruba from the Spaniards. In discussing the history of Curaçao, it would be remiss not to mention Peter Stuyvesant. He was a renowned Dutch colonial administrator during the time when the Netherlands governed Curaçao. He worked for the WIC and was appointed as the Director General of Curaçao in 1639, which also gave him power over Bonaire and Aruba. When New Netherlands was relocated from Curaçao to New Amsterdam, present-day New York, Peter Stuyvesant accompanied them and eventually passed away there in 1672. A time of disorder and disarray. Curaçao's sovereignty has been subject to multiple changes over time. In the 19th century, Curaçao underwent a period of uncertainty, as it changed hands several times. The English took control of Curaçao once, but then the Dutch regained power. The reason for this was that England was at war with France led by Napoleon, and during this time, they twice conquered Curaçao from the Dutch. However, when the Treaty of London was signed in 1814, the Dutch regained control of the colonies that England had occupied during the Napoleonic Wars. The slavery on Curaçao. Regrettably, Curaçao has a dark past, marked by the establishment of a slave trade in the 17th century. The Dutch, English, French, and Portuguese brought black Africans from their homeland to the Caribbean region to be sold as commodities. These enslaved people were then forced to work on plantations, in salt pans, and in ports, primarily in North and South America and other Caribbean islands. The work was grueling, and Dutch ships ultimately transported approximately 500,000 slaves from Africa to Curaçao. Starting from 1662, tens of thousands of slaves were held in Willemstad and traded annually. Curaçao played a significant role in the transatlantic slave trade, which resulted in the abolition of slavery on the island by the Dutch in 1863. The transformation from the Netherlands Antilles to the Kingdom of the Netherlands. Until 2010, Curacao was part of the Netherlands Antilles, which consisted of several islands including Curacao, the largest one. However, on October 10, 2010, the Netherlands Antilles was dissolved. Consequently, Curaçao and Sint Maarten became new constituent countries within the Kingdom of the Netherlands, while Bonaire, Saba, and Saint Eustatius became special municipalities. Today, the Kingdom of the Netherlands comprises Aruba, Sint Maarten, and Curaçao as its constituent countries. Nearby Klein Curaçao also holds several fascinating historical elements, including a mysterious shipwreck with an eerie appearance. At Curaçao trips, we would be delighted to take you to the island and share its history with you.